were in need of basic knowledge on various methods and techniques which are most essentially needed for us to sort out the issues by developing our own models. This made us to go ahead with the survey on various concepts which can help us to solve the problems by developing our own methods. This is the motivation and methods. There are different methods and methods of power theft. This is one of the method. Detection and power recognition using high voltage distribution system. This is the structure of power theft detection. The distribution line usually consists of 230 volts in this setup, but we need to boost the line voltage up to 350 volts through the voltage regulator, and therefore grid compromises of 350 volts. But when it comes to the approaching, the voltage drops down to 230 volts. If the voltage is at 350 volts on the user end, if anybody else want to select a plug directly from the user end, the electric appliances is influenced by 350 volts. So this is also best way to manage theft of power. This figure indicates the basic model of power theft identification. And next we go for the other method, intelligent distribution scheme for identification of line losses in power distribution. In this procedure, power theft control can be conducted out using a microcontroller and a GSM model. This is the model to detect power theft. Starting mostly with the substation distribution transformer, energy meter, everything is connected to such a wire with much less interaction. Power can be transmitted from a substation to consumers, in which every consumer home is connected or introduced with a microcontroller. This model receives energy from the substations to consumers, which is why, because we have linked the memory chip and the GSM module, it records energy even though we can interface with the user to the substation, vice versa. Even our energy consuming charges can be compensated by GSM interaction. Thus, if any illegal hacking or tapping occurred, we can quickly spot the consumer ID by tracking via GSM. And next, my friend will continue.
Good morning, everyone. I am Divya from CSE branch. Now I am going to explain about advanced metering of facilities. So here, smart meters are used to know power theft, and it is used for managing power crimes and used to track power theft also. And virtual meters are used to calculate power and energy utilization. If any theft or power crime happens, then there is a change in load current, and that signal will be sent for authorized user so that the electrical theft can be easily tracked. Next, uh, th- these are the diagrams of advanced metering infrastructure system. And next, power theft monitoring using system PLC. The main strategy in this is automatic metering system. It is designed to detect the power theft in AMR. The main components are like interface module of a meter, means it has supply voltage like detectors, process of device, etc. Next comes to communication system. It is also the main component. And communication system, as we know that it is mainly used for data satellite tracking, modems, routers, etc. Uh, Next, these are the sketch of advanced smart meter power theft and model to detect. Uh, so in this rotational speed and gross energy is in kilowatt hours, and loads are linked to modems and readings are noted. Uh, Next, we'll go for the algorithms. The first, the novel CNN RF algorithm. In that, the CNN means convolution, uh, neural network, and random forest classifier. It is highly supervised learning framework, and it compromises of many layers and programmed using a propagation algorithm, whereas RF consists of combination of a tree classifier. Mainly in this, the CNN includes a convolution layer, downsampling layer, and fully integrated layer. So now let's go one by one. First, we'll move to convolution layer. Convolution layer consists of factor sensors used to measure different feature maps. So each neuron attaches to specific area, and the convolution layer output interrupt as shown in this. And next we'll move to downsampling layer. So it is positioned across the two convolution layer. So it decreases number of criteria and complexity, and max polling and average polling are used in this. So max polling, it gives greater outcome and average poll than the average polling. Next we'll move to the fully connected layer. So extracted from both sequential convolution and pulling. Next we'll move to RF classifier layer. So this RF classifier layer, so it predicts classes based on the type collected, and it is the last output layer in the CNN. Next, my friend Jija will continue.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to tell on second algorithm, decision tree. Here, decision tree segregates the attributes into classes based on their respective features, and it also characterizes the DT using logical models, gives the greater accuracy while overcoming the drawback of a formal method. By this, it motivates authors to use DT approach for detection of malicious consumers. In this, DT is used to detect theft by calculating the expected electricity usage of a consumer. The entropy is calculated as given below equation. The final entropy and the information gain is calculated as follows. Next. The final entropy is calculated. The preliminary entropy is described as follows equation. The initial entropy before splitting the partition is computed as follows. Splitting will also be carried out in the above below equation also. Next. The IG calculated for attribute 1 is 0.246 and it also be calculated for other attributes also. So by this, if the IG value is maximum for the attribute 1, the decision tree is split on the basis of attribute 1. So the decision tree is splitted first preliminary is shown in the figure. Next. This is the final decision tree after the repetitive recursion, and this is formed by the algorithm 1. Algorithm also contributes to the attribute priorities used for the measuring energy consumption. Next is taken by the Priyanka.
So now let us move to the SVM classifier. So SVM is a supervised machine learning method which is used for classification of data. So first of all, the primary goal of using SVM is to classify the unseen data accurately by minimizing the classification error using a decision function. So this is achieved by training the SVM on the training data and afterwards using it to predict the output class of the unseen data. So in this below given figure, there it is a SVM classification process. So firstly, there is a data pre-processing. In data pre-processing, in this step, raw data from various sensors is deployed in the environment and is collected and it is transferred to the SVM format recognized by the SVM classifier. And the next data normalization. Data is one of the main strategies that needs to be performed during classification using SVM. Next. Next. Next is the choice of uh, appropriate kernels. In this where choosing kernels according to the problem is also a very important task in SVM classification. Therefore, Gaussian radial basis function kernel is the most commonly used non-linear kernel in software packages that separate the solution sets which are not linearly separable. So the next one is next. Choose modeling parameters. In choose modeling parameters, the for RBF kernel, two modeling parameters, namely C and gamma, needs to be chosen before using RBF as a kernel function. These two parameters have a direct effect on the accuracy of the SVM classifier. Thus, selecting the right values for these parameters is an important task. Next is the train and test the classifier. In this, after the solution of kernel and modeling parameters, the SVM classifier is trained on the training set. Once the classifier is trained, then it becomes capable of classifying the new test values based on the trained classification model.
Please, saying you have to conclude. You have exceeded your maximum. Okay, please conclude.
Yes, ma'am. So next to the references. So thank you.
Over to review. Yes, ma'am. Over to reviewers. Any queries?
Students, have you completely implemented your project? Students, are you done with the implementation of your project?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Fine. So, yes, of course, the presentation is really good. When it comes to references, I would suggest you go for the updated ones because they are like 6 years, 7 years old. Okay, go for really good ones of recent. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, how the maximum pooling gives greater outcome. You have mentioned in your slide that maximum pooling activity will give greater outcome. Can you justify the statement? Samira Banu?
Yes, sir.
Can you justify that statement? Maximum pooling activity gives greater outcome.
Hello, Samira, please respond. And others in the team, you can answer.
No, you don't have any idea?
No, sir.
Okay, madam. Please go for the next paper, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, Samira, stop sharing your screen. Now the second presenter is Nafisa Banu. Nafina Banu, you can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Title of the paper, Avoiding License in Crop Marketing, IP 45. Your ID, paper ID is 45.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Start presenting. Share your screen.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kirtana, and my teammates are here to explain a topic avoiding liaison in crop marketing. Our topic, keeping in mind the farmers' protest, which is burning current affair, we have come up with this topic, which is related to the same and is affecting market value of the products immensely. These are the contents we are going to explain. To avoid this, we have come up with this solution. Our paper discusses about the web application, which will provide benefit to the both the farmers as well as consumers. By our web application, they can market through online, and also we will provide platform for products obtained from agriculture, which provides direct communication between farmer and consumer. We will implement a registration process, which will involves registering email, Aadhaar number, whereas and also mobile number. In our web application, both farmers as well as consumers will be registered, where both can know the details about the products which are available. Next, my teammate Nafina will explain introduction.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nafina, and I'm here to explain the introduction about a project. As we know, agriculture is backbone of India. The farmer is the only man in our economy who buys everything at retail, sells everything at wholesale, and pays the burden in both the ways. Agriculture marketing ensures reasonable price for farmers. In the absence of an organized marketing structure, private traders and middlemen dominate the marketing and trading of agriculture produce. There are 3 to 4 mediators in between the farmers and the customers. And in this supply chain, the crop rate increases from farmers to customers. Usually, it doubles the actual price. As technology is increasing day by day, I think our web application will be useful in providing direct communication between farmer and customer. This application involves 3 sectors, that is farmer sector, consumer sector, and APMC sector. uh, this farmer sector consists of product details. Whatever crops he has, he contains all the details of the crops and quantity of the product available with him. And the consumer sector contains the information about the consumers, their details, and what the consumer required, his product requirements. And APMC sector consists of farmer, consumer, and the product price details. And this profits both the farmers and consumers, which avoids mediators between them. So your middleman negotiates farmer for his own profit. Farmers who are nearby sell their crops to consumers, but who stay far away depend on mediators to sell their crops. The farmers works too hard to grow crops, but still they fail to get profit, where farmers play major role in agricultural life cycle. And next, over to Kirtana.
Our web application is chosen as basic version. It will provide interface between the farmers and consumers. When the whole world was facing the COVID lockdown, where did we rush first? Of course, the grocery shop. The person who provides the raw materials of the groceries, obviously the farmer. The person is farmer. It is so difficult to imagine our life without farmer. He provides us with the most basic needs. So we are going to develop this app, this web development for the purpose of farmers benefits and also consumer benefits. um, this application will include the database stored in the backend of both farmers details as well as consumers details. Customers can also view available crops in his area. It will consist of all detailed transaction of farmer and also consumer while buying products, like what they need, all those groceries. This will be used by only entitled person, that is administrated person, where only he will be having rights to delete and can alter all the information like registration, all those kind updated details, all those. If the farmer or the consumer is new user of our application, then he will carry out a task like filling the personal details such as username, password, email ID, whatever information, all those things. After registration, he will be the part of our website. Mm, Whenever logins, they can market our products, their products to the consumer who are registered. Secure payment, like shop using credit, can shop using your credit, debit card, or net banking, knowing that all transactions are securely processed. Quick search, they can search quickly in our app, sorry, web website. Search by product name, all those things we will include. Category, brands, track your orders. We will implement a location for both consumer as well as farmers to transfer the groceries to the consumer door. Um, after after registration, okay, Personalized recommendations, they will get suggestions based on your shopping preferences, and also ratings, offers, likes, and ongoing shopping trends. Next. To log in into the system, registered user must provide his or her username and password for accreditation process. It is the main important for security purpose. Database, the only user can enter the application and get the view of application. The users can add the products they have grown, and every time they can update and the admin of the system has some special rights, such as deleting the specific. Only the admin will be having rights. That is the work of database of the application, and can change the details concerning specific items every time when while updating. Next, my teammate Shivani will explain.
Good morning, everybody. Myself, Shrivani. I'm going to say a few words that farmers are facing. Today, in India, farmers are getting less benefits, like what they produce. You will get what they produce, and they sell it for very less price, so that they are not getting benefits in markets. And middleman, they go through so many. They sell their products to the middleman, and the middleman and some other processes will be going on, so that the middleman will get benefits. Farmers are getting less benefits. We have done some survey on our project regarding our project, so that there are some applications which are similar to our project, like Ecocon technology. It is very leading in India. It is located in Tamil Nadu. It describes that it is suitable. It connects all the people in different cities of in different villages who are living near the people, and it connects. It gets the products and sells it for a fair price, that farmers can get. Farmers and consumers can get benefits. One more application is that Go for Fresh. It is also Indian enterprise. It deals with all the fresh products produced by the farmers, and their main vision is to build a modern supply chain using the modern technology. And next application or some other app is ISA Organic. It mainly depends on supplying the organic foods produced by the farmers by organic methods. And many other people, it is located in Delhi, and the people near Delhi who are producing organic products can sell their products through this website. Now the benefits will now next my friend Shweta will continue about benefits.
Hello, Shweta. Shweta, please conclude.
Yes, ma'am.
Please conclude your presentation within 1 minute. You are
Good morning.
Your maximum.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Shweta. I am explaining the benefits of using our website. Farmers will able to sell agriculture growing products directly to a varieties of customers like restaurants, grocery stores, supermarket, etc. The farmers receives a price similar to what the grocery stores charges. The farmers set the accurate crop data and price. Good products and services can get attractive prices, and therefore small farmers can also get profitable. This method of marketing is more helpful for farmers to get more profit. The farmers receive instant feedback from the customers on product and services. The farmers can improve our farming or business. through this input and increase the farm profitably. We can refer these references. Thank you, ma'am.
Over to reviewers.
Yeah, Kirtana, Nafina Banu, your concept is good, but you are not explained about the actual web application that you are going to develop. Right. And my doubt, yeah, please.
Actually, we have not implemented, sir. Just we have took references and we have made it this, sir.
Good. How the farmers can understand about the technology that you are using through your web application, because most of the farmers are illiterates. So do you have any idea or proposal to educate them to know about the application, web application?
No, sir.
Fine. Thank you.
Have you gone through these technologies like Ekagon, GoFresh? Have you?
Yes, ma'am. We have gone through the.
No. Have you seen them and have you come up with your own model representation?
Yes, ma'am. We have gone through their websites and apps, ma'am. Regarding those, we have done this, ma'am.
Yeah, those you should have given as a comparative study, and what you are planning to do, that you could have put it in a form of model and you could have represented.
Okay, ma'am. Next time we'll implement it.
Okay.
Shall we continue, sir?
Yeah, Professor Anant, do you want to ask any?
No, sir. We can proceed for next.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. So my request to all participants is, please make a note of all the valid inputs given by session chair. Okay. And one more request is, you have 10 minutes time to present your paper. Okay. So keeping in that point in while presenting, please see that you have only 10 minutes. Okay. Next presenter is Ramalingam T. Session ID is ICPR-AM 57. And the title is
some configuration there.
Location of plant leaf maladies
configuration. So the configuration.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
In that places.
Ma'am. Hello.
Ramalingam T.
Yeah, ma'am. Audible.
You can share your slide.
Yeah, okay. I will present my PPT, ma'am.
Each algorithm gives us equal cost for each algorithm. So cost is also a high level.
Session ID is ICPR-AM 57.
Ma'am, you visible?
And also
ma'am, you visible?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, good morning. First of all, good morning to all, ma'am. Hello?
Others, please put from your end. Yes, you can start, Ramalingam.
Ma'am, audible?
Ramalingam, you can start your presentation.
Okay, sir. First of all, good morning to all. I am Ramalingam. I am from Tamil Nadu. So, this is my topic. Location of plant leaf maladies utilizing pictorizations. It means how to identify plant leaf diseases too early. Okay?
Giving the internet. For example,
this is my abstract. Agriculture productivity is something on which economy depends.
May we request the other participants to mute their microphones?
In this area.
Ramalingam, sir.
Ma'am?
Yeah, we are getting some disturbance from your end.
Added this in slide, ma'am.
Wait, ma'am.
But I can design them.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, wait a minute.
Okay. The model I cannot attach it in this PPT, sir.
So
Ma'am,
kindly
wait.
ask them to unmute, sir.
Crowd protection. It gives the ability.
The disturbance is from your side itself.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Wait, ma'am. Only 1 minute, ma'am.
Multi-group backup. They recover the multi-group backup first and less overget that.
One screen I guess.
And one more advantages in BPP efficiency pay for full network production.
Ma'am, now you are audible clearly?
No, sir. We'll go with the next paper, sir. We'll come back to you sometime again. Please,
Okay.
the next paper be ready.
Using two kinds,
Okay, ma'am.
these are the advantages.
Nivedita. Nivedita, energy efficiency improvement in core networks using cloud computing services. Okay.
Okay. Next participant, M. Nivedita. Are you ready, Nivedita?
For the next participant, Vinayak N. Chatbot on education system.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, share your screen. The paper ID is ICPROM 60. The paper ID, I repeat, it is ICPROM 60. Chatbot on education system. Vinayak KN.
Am I visible, ma'am?
Yeah, you're visible. Please go ahead with the presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Anish?
Hello, good morning, everybody. Myself, Anish, and firstly, I'm thankful to everyone for giving this opportunity. And my teammates are Usha, Vidya, and Vinayak. And under the guidance of Dr. Anuradha SG ma'am, we have done this project that is chatbot application for college inquiry. So next. Next. Okay, next. So first comes introduction.
Change
Is my
your
screen visible?
No, Vinayak.
but slides are not changing. Please.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Vinayak, you have 10 minutes time.
Okay, ma'am.
Vinayak, please change it to introduction part. Okay. So first of all, what is chatbot? A chatbot is a computer program which attempts to maintain a conversation between the person and a bot in a natural language. So it is used to conduct online chat conversation instead of direct live contact with human beings. So next.
Is it not changing?
No.
Okay.
Please display introduction page, man.
Now is it visible?
Okay, yeah. And these chatbots are artificial intelligence to process natural language and enabling them to understand human speech. So here, natural language, in the sense, it is a branch of artificial intelligence that maintains computers, understands, interpret, and maintain and manipulate human language. And next, chatbot use machine learning to succeed in artificial intelligence and helping them to know the user's exact query and or user's intent and supply an appropriate response based on their intents. So the chatbots are developed using synthetic intelligence terminology for communicating and interacting with users. So here, mainly our chatbot is built for colleges, schools, and other educational institutes. One can access the college information regarding institutes by sitting anywhere in the world. And we have seen many chatbots in our day-to-day life, like Zomato and Swiggy customer services.
Yes, continue.
And in e-commerce. Ma'am, am I audible? Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible.
You
Go
are
ahead.
audible.
Okay. One can act here. We have seen many chatbots in our day-to-day life, like Zomato and Swiggy customer services, and in e-commerce websites like Flipkart and Amazon. So next, I call my friend Vidya to explain further.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to give the details about area and problem statement of our project. When we look at the previous years, if a student want to join the college or need any details or information about the college, they had to visit the college to inquire about it, which is a time consuming as well as a lengthy procedure for both parents and as well as the students. And even students can visit the college only during the college working days. So to overcome this, there is a solution where we can use our chatbot application. Chatbot analyzes user queries and perceive user messages regarding the college. This proposed system could be an internet application that provides answers to the queries asked by the user. Student here can chat using any format as they wish. There is no specific format or a rule the user needs to follow. The answers are applicable for user queries. If the answers are found invalid or not accessible, then those queries are kept on hold into the unrequited table, which is essentially created by the admin. And admin checks this table regularly. If they found any unanswered queries, then they will add on the appropriate answer to the particular queries, where bot can be able to answer next. And this application is both time and money saving. And students can use this application anytime, even during the college non-working days. Thank you. Anish, continue it further.
Okay, next comes objectives. Here, the main objective of our chatbot is to solve the problems that organizations are facing today with the human resources. Like now, if students visit college and if we want to inquire about some information in reception section, then there will be only one-to-one contact. Other students has to wait until he resolves his problem. So their time will be wasted. And staff also cannot respond to all the students. So next, chatbot can serve as virtual advisors. So now in the light of campus closure due to COVID-19, chatbot advising gives both students and advisors the opportunity for a face-to-face conversation. And next, it solves queries regarding college. So it solves queries regarding colleges like facilities. Facilities in the sense what are the facilities that particular college is having, like canteen facility, bus facility, hostel facility, like facilities it will display. And coming to the admission section, if a student is willing to do the admission, then what are the documents, original documents has to be submitted, and what is the procedure he has to follow comes in the admission. So next, fee structure. Depending on the branch wise, the fee structure will be displayed. And one thing here is no recommendation is allowed in this. And next, about placements. So what is the percentage that every student is selecting for the placement every year, and what are the placement activities, and what are the companies that are coming to that college every year. So next comes, it performs simple and protective tasks that would be a time consuming and trying to make the user think that he's chatting with another human being. So I next call my friend Vinayak to explain further.
Benefits to the society. The benefits of the chatbot are, it is available 24/7, and it is keeping up with the trends, being present on the messaging platforms. No manpower involved in this, and it is time consuming and money saving. It is easy to access and quick replies. It can address maybe about 1,000 queries or more at a time. Monitoring consumer data and gaining insights of the students and etc. And next is literature survey. The total chatbot using a knowledge in database, human to machine conversation modeling, which is written by Baiju Sethi and Ferry Wahu in 2006. It uses mainly DBMS technology. In this, the knowledge of the chatbot are stored in a database, and the chatbot consists of a core and interface that is accessing that core in relation database management system. The database has employed as knowledge storage and interpreter has been employed as stored programs of functions and procedure set of pattern matching requirements. And the next author is an intelligent web-based voice chat by M. Lala and S. Sinha, and it was published in 2009, which uses web services. This paper presents the design and development of an intelligent voice recognition chatbot. The paper presents a technology demonstrator for verify a proposed framework of required support such a chatbot. While a black box approach is used by controlling a communication structure to and from the web services. The web services allows all type of clients to communicate with the server from any platforms. Next is technology used. We are using Google Toolkit that helps to maintain the front end and Python programming language for the back end to interact with the database and suitable machine learning algorithms. And these are our references. Thank you.
Over to session chairs, please.
Vinayak, have you implemented this chatbot in your college?
No, sir. We are still, sir. We are not implemented still, sir.
Initial stage, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Fine. Okay.
What is synthetic intelligence terminology, Mr. Vinayak?
Sir.
Synthetic intelligence. You have mentioned in your first few slides, I think.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea about it? No?
No, sir. Alternative term of artificial intelligence, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
And you have taken the references from 2009.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you could have. Are there no latest trends in chatbot from 2009 to 2020?
No, ma'am. Much further development has not happened from there.
No, there is development. You should research on this particular topic because several researches are going on with chatbot.
Okay, sir.
Here references we have kept by year-wise, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. We'll proceed for the next presentation.
Okay, sir.
Yes, with session chair permissions, let us conclude the morning session now. The speaker for the today's session, Dr. D.S. Guru sir, has joined with us. Let's break for the presentation now, and we'll postpone the presentation IC from 47 and IC from 57 to the next coming session, that is session 7.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, ma'am.
They can't editable. That means non-reversible signature for the data. The signature is not extended.
Please, there is a disturbance from the other end. Unmute from yourself. Unmute, please. Ramalingam, there is a lot of disturbance from your side, please. Yes, I thank the session chairs for the present session who have judged all the papers of the morning session, session 5. We again get connected at 12:30, sir. Now kindly will join for the keynote address by Dr. Guru sir. Over to Swapna Kulkarni, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Now I request Dr. Girish sir, DN RIMC College, to give welcome.
Hello.